My presentation topic is all about affective assessment and will delimit it on 4 important questions that includes: what is affective assessment? Why affective assessment? What is the taxonomy of affective domain in learning? And what are the affective variables in learning? Assessment is a process that is accepted and considered by many, especially by the expert, as an important way to know and identify what else must be improved, support, and developed, to sustain progress and continually equip the learners with knowledge and skills that will make them competent, active, and ready. To talk about one of the most important as well as fundamental assessment for learning, affective assessment, allow me to start with the definition. What is affective assessment? It is a type of assessment that deals with the affect dimension of students' learning. The affective domain is from the Latin word affectus, meaning feelings. It includes a host of contracts like attitudes, values, beliefs, opinions, and motivation. They are the non-cognitive outcomes of learning that are not explicitly demonstrated. It looks into how students feel while they are learning, how their learning experiences have influenced their emotions and future behavior. It can be described as personal and inner connection of appreciating and developing level of interest towards discipline, skills, activities, and the likes. Why affective assessment? Teaching is also knowing and understanding students as learners and humans. It is essential that learners know the feeling of pleasure, enjoyment, or even anxiety that learners experience. Why? Because this feeling will have bearing on their attitudes, motivations, and beliefs that will eventually be manifested in their future behavior. This is to individualize their approaches to students and reshape the lesson plan based on the identified needs of students. As for my reaction, this will help the teacher have better understanding of the learners and create approaches that is fit of guiding and motivating them well. Assessment on the affective domain is also important for the students themselves. Self-awareness of feelings, emotions, and attitudes can make students reflect on how they are in the process of learning. This type of metacognition has proven to enhance learning and contribute to success in academic work. Cognitive and affective assessment should work in tandem, as what empirical studies have proven. As for my view, it connotes self-knowing or mirroring, an act to better present, respond, and identify the impact a person is providing in the process of learning. Knowledge of what students view, perceive, and feel as they are engaged in learning activities will guide teachers to improve their teaching strategies and enhance learning. Affective assessment can provide supplemental information about a learning difficulty or behavior problem that affects learning. From this, I can say that the affective assessment helps create bridge or an aid for the teacher and the students, establish teaching and learning support to achieve goals by considering the affective domain of a learner. The low performance of students may be caused by affective factors such as attitude, interest, and motivation. According to Sligens, motivation and desire represent the very foundation of learning, an important concept for us teachers. Popham contends that affective variables are often more significant than cognitive variable. My stand: in order to see the students showcasing its best performance, as well as the most participation he or she can give, an environment that is welcoming for them to express their individuality and uniqueness must be provided. Part to make it happen is by understanding the affective domain of the learners. Let's focus now on the taxonomy of affective domain in learning. What is the taxonomy of affective domain in learning? Revise Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive processes are remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. Affective domain of learning was developed by Cratwell. Serve as guide in doing affective assessment. Cratwell was the student of Bloom. Reviewing the taxonomy of affective domain. Level 1. To receive. In this level of affective behavior, the learner demonstrates awareness or passive attention in an activity that is happening, such that she gives attention to that activity. This level involves willingness to receive the stimulus. Example: looking at the teacher during lecture is an awareness on a learning stimulus. Another one, by listening and paying attention, it indicates willingness in receiving that stimulus. Level 2. To respond. In this case, the learner reacts positively to a given stimulus or information that has been received. An active attention and response to a particular phenomenon or stimulus. Example: if a learner participates in class discussion and not merely listening, then the learner is in this level behavior. This behavior may be compliance to a given task, voluntary engagement, or doing an activity with interest. Level 3. To value. This is the level where the learner demonstrates commitment to the object, knowledge, or activity. Values are manifested through overt behavior, attaching value or worth to a phenomenon or object. Example: picking up litters outside the classroom without teacher's presence are valuing behaviors because it shows some form of commitment. Level 4. To organize. This is the level where the learner has internalized and integrated his or her feelings, emotion, beliefs, opinions, resulting to actions where new values and traits emerge. Organizing values into priorities by comparing, relating, and synthesizing specific values. In this level, the learner is able to discern independently the right from wrong, and he or she is able to make a decision on what is more valuable based on his or her own judgment. Level 5. To characterize. The learner shows consistency of the behavior that establishes an image or character of the learner. The behavior extends beyond the school setting and becomes part of his or her lifestyle. Having personal value system that is now a characteristic of the learner. Example: if doing an experiment has instilled the value of patience, such trait could be carried over to the student's non-science activities. What are the affective variables in learning? First, attitudes, referring to a person's reactions whether positive or negative, favorable or unfavorable towards an object, activity, person, or environment. In teaching, this will be concerned with the attitudes towards learning, subject, teachers, classmates, homework and projects, even attitudes with wearing of uniform, attendance to the flag ceremony. We all desire to foster positive attitudes. On the other hand, we also want students to have negative attitudes on things like cheating, bullying, fighting, and absenteeism. It is important to note that attitude cannot be taken as solely affective. It also has a cognitive element where the learner has the content knowledge that defines the worth or value of the object or situation. Cognitive knowledge can just be a contributing factor to effect a desired effect outcome. Example: of course, but not necessarily others know. that smoking is wrong, and even the government has warning on the package of the cigarette. Still, many will smoke. Cognitive knowledge is just one of the factors of attitude. Attitude is much more personal decision than a personal knowledge. Second, values and beliefs. Values are characteristics or traits that a person holds in high importance. These include principles that one considers to be right and consequently which guides the person's future actions and decisions. In school setting, values that are included in the curriculum are honesty, patience, perseverance, respect for others, cleanliness and order, care for environment, and so on. Beliefs refer to our convictions or opinions. We hold to be true even without evidence. While beliefs are traditionally associated with religion, they have been talked about in the field of education. There are such things as beliefs about mathematics, freedom, gender, equality, and so on. Beliefs emanate from multiple sources, from what one hears, sees, reads, and experiences. Values are developed from beliefs. Beliefs as well as values can change over time from learned experiences. As such, it is important that teachers provide positive learning experiences to students, because from these experiences, they form beliefs that lead to the formations of values that are desired. Third, interest. It is a psychological state that draws a person's attention to an object, idea, or event. In a classroom setting, it is what students are into or the learner's disposition about a topic, such as reading, science, mathematics, history, and so on. It is interest that drives the learner to be attentive to the topic of discussion or engage in any academic activity. Interest may be personal or situational. Whether personal or situational, it is important for the teacher to know how students are receptive on the content that is covered in the lesson. If there is low interest as revealed from the assessment results, the teacher can think of intervention strategies to address the problem, like creating learning experiences that are more exciting to engage students in interactions with peers or with teachers. Interest is directly linked with enjoyment and joy in doing something. Fourth, motivation. Brown defines motivation as an inner drive, impulse, emotion, or desire that moves one to a particular action. It arouses and sustains behavior. It can lead to increased effort and energy to pursue a goal. If a learner is highly motivated, he or she is willing to give his or her time and effort to reach a goal. It brings a learner to excitement and enjoyment to an academic task and enhances cognitive processing and improves learning. Presenting you Ausubel's 6 needs and desires that are integral parts of motivation. First, the need for exploration. Second, the need for manipulation. Third, the need for activity. Fourth, the need for stimulation. Fifth, the need for knowledge. And sixth, the need for ego enhancement. Fifth, self-confidence refers to how a person feels about his or her abilities to accomplish a task or reach a goal. It is the person's perception of him or herself capabilities to perform successfully the task given to him or her. Empirical studies show self-confidence is associated with academic success. Selected contents, informations were taken from social media and books available, acknowledging and crediting to the rightful owner. That concludes my presentation. Thank you and have a nice day.